Oh, thank you. Okay, so welcome to Liam from Stix. Stix is a new product that we've been trying out at some of our CENMAC schools recently, and it's linked with mindfulness and well-being, and I think it's a really cool device, but I'm going to hand over to Liam, who will tell us all about it. Thank you, Liam.
Thanks, Mary. Hi, everyone. My name's Liam, founder of Stix. We've developed a product that teaches children mindfulness and well-being strategies in a screen-free way, guiding them through audio-based activities. And I'll take you through what the product involves now, how we came about developing it, how long we've been running for, and I can present to you our sort of offering today of a free trial at the end. And any questions, please ask. I'm using Canva, which I've never used before, so let's go. All right, so obviously we all know the mental health crisis that our children are facing, with 1 in 5 children suffering from a mental health issue. It's something that is getting worse every year. The NHS referral rates are going up. There's less budget to actually support the children, and schools are suffering. They're not able to support them in the right way. And the consequences of that means that as children get older, they develop these mental health conditions that will then stay with them for life. And when you consider that 50% of adults with a mental health condition develop them before the age of 14, it shows we need to support children at an earlier stage so that we can teach them preventative measures to stop mental health conditions from arising. But that doesn't mean they won't stop, and so teaching them something at a younger age can really help. And the example that actually inspired Stix was my brother and his ADHD growing up. When I started developing this product, my brother's only a year younger than me, so he was already too old for it. But his experience with medication growing up was something that other families told me they were facing as well, where he didn't like taking the medication despite it being quite good for his behavior. It made him feel worse and he wasn't himself. And so we were always, as a family, looking for alternatives to support him. And there are many other families like this, and children aren't getting the support they need. If they don't want to be taking it, then they often have to suffer the consequences of their ADHD because they're not necessarily being taught how they can manage their behaviors separate from medication. And so that's why we created Stix. So it's an interactive device that speaks to you, guides you through different well-being activities with audio built into it. So it's 2 handheld devices similar to a Wii remote with lights, audio, vibration feedback, and they can detect movement as well. So the activities are interactive, they provide sensory feedback throughout, and almost react to the children's movements depending on the activities. So there are 12 activities involved, which I'll take you through shortly, involving how to sort of support their resilience, boost their focus, ease anxiety, learn techniques to deal with different situations so that when they don't have the Stix, they've still got the technique that they learned from the product. It's all taught to them in a screen-free way, so the audio comes from the device. There is a screen with it, so it's always a tricky thing to say it's screen-free, but you don't need it. If you're a school that didn't like devices, you could simply pick up the Stix Remotes, hold the buttons down, and it will launch a screen-free activity and basically start speaking to the child and guiding them through deep breathing exercises. And then you can keep playing along in a sequence so that you have different activities each time. However, if you do have access to iPads or phones or any device that can download apps on it, you can download the Stix app, which allows you to choose your activity, track your progress, and also earn rewards. So children have a sense of accomplishment when they complete their activity because they earn stars, which they can then use to develop a monster character. And so all of this has been designed alongside psychologists. So it's very research-led. It's based on research, and then we've also taken it into school where we did a 4-week study, which showed improvements in anxiety and depression scores, as well as 100% of the kids loving the product, which is one of the best things. And so yeah, this shows how you can use it with or without the screen. So you can select from the app, send it over to the Stix, and that's your choice of activity, or you can simply hold the buttons down and it will play audio to you straight away. So these are some of the activities on the app, or like I said, that you randomly select. We've got 4 categories. So we have breathing activities, body-focused activities, thoughts and feelings, and heart. Breathing is things like belly breathing, which is a technique many of you will know already, but we do it in a fun way that makes children visualize it so that they can really understand how to do it. And an exercise on the Stix is called balloon breathing, balloon arms. We have to breathe in, lift the arms up, and breathe out. lift the arms down, just like you're an inflating and deflating balloon. And as you do that, the noises come from the sticks to sort of illustrate that the balloon is inflating, deflating, to guide them along. Then we've got body focused activities, which are more movement based and focus on feelings of the body and how to sort of understand them. So that when they're, fidgeting, they can understand that, they might be energetic and need to release that energy. So these ones involve a bit more movement. So Stix balance, for example, gets you to shake out all your excess energy, and kids go crazy and wiggle around, but then they have to go through several rounds of staying still and balancing. And so they have to focus whilst they're on one leg, and the sticks can detect movement. So if they start fidgeting, the lights will change from green to red to indicate that they're moving, and they need to refocus and stay still. And there are 3 rounds, so within each round you get a break and you can shake off your excess energy again and then learn to refocus. So it's a way to teach them how to focus on their body, release their energy, then focus again and then release their energy, and it helps children understand what they can do in the real world. Thoughts and feelings actually has 2 of the crowd favorite activities. So this is how you focus on your thoughts and feelings and can let them go when they come into your brain, into your mind. Bubble popping is the crowd favorite. So that's about imagining your thoughts as bubbles floating in the air, and you have to use the Stix Remotes to pop them. So you just go like this and you gently pop the sticks when a thought comes into your head, and it makes a popping sound when you do that movement. And children love that one because it's quite easy to take away from the sticks as well. So when they're in a situation where they're upset or maybe stressed, they can visualize their thoughts and their anger or anxiety as a bubble in the air that they can pop, and it helps them sort of release that stress. And then finally, we've got heart focused activities, which is all about compassion, gratitude. It's ways to teach young children how to be thankful for, what's around them, and to make them appreciate everything. So in terms of the benefits for your schools, so the product's been tested in a school scenario, and it's shown that it does boost the classroom atmosphere. It makes everyone calmer, and it means that children can identify when they are maybe struggling and want to sort of relax. They can put their hand up and have a quick break, go out and use the sticks maybe in the sensory room, or maybe you have the sticks at the back of the classroom, and it allows children to identify when they need it, which they then come back to the class, and there's an enhanced sort of atmosphere because of that. We can also suggest that it improves the teacher-child relationship, because you can have one each. And so if you have a teaching assistant, for example, that takes a child out, you can both share a sticks and do the activity together, which is a great way to build that bond. And overall, there is a strong correlation between practicing mindfulness and having a positive impact on academic performance. But overall, for us, it's about teaching children the wellbeing techniques that they can then use when they're in the classroom setting. So they don't necessarily need to have that sensory brain break in order to come back and chill out. They actually know how to do that already when they're in the calming set, in the classroom setting, so that they can refocus their attention and get on with their class. And so the perfect scenario that we had was, or the perfect testimonial, was a school that's using sticks. They purchased 5, and they had one child who was sitting their SATs exam, and halfway through they were just too anxious, they couldn't complete it and had to leave. The teacher sat down with them, they both did some breathing exercises with the sticks, and then she went back in and finished her SATs. So it's a great testimonial to show how they can have that separation, have that break, and then come back and continue the task that they couldn't previously complete. And so, like I said before, the children love the product. It's suitable for the classroom, suitable for separate from the classroom in the sensory rooms. But it's more fun than listening to a YouTube meditation. If you give them a phone and put on Headspace or just a breathing activity, it's quite passive. They don't do anything. They can quite quickly forget what's going on and lose concentration. Whereas the sticks is a tangible product that they're holding, they're experiencing it in the real world. It's talking to them and giving them feedback throughout. So it's relatable for them and basically provides them more of a tangible experience to help them relax. Then in terms of the teachers, it's a bit wordy, so you don't need to read off the screen, but essentially the teachers that have been using it love it, and it's showing great examples, like in the classroom, the SATs exam, children having anxiety pre-exam and being able to continue because of the sticks, and just being able to sort of manage the stress because of all the pressure and everything that we put on children at the moment. This product allows them to take that separation and learn how to relax. So we launched last year, and actually we didn't necessarily think we'd be selling into schools, but we launched selling to parents. Then through natural sort of testing, we've found that actually schools was a great place for it. And so we've been doing trials of schools where you maybe have the product for 1 or 2 weeks for free. We send it to you and you see what you think. And for us, it's to learn more about how you use it, how the kids get on with it, what activities work for them, what don't. How many children use it at once. Every school is different, and so we're still learning how the school will use it. And for you guys, it will allow you to see whether it's something that's suitable for your school, for your SEND provision, or any sensory rooms that you might have, or one in every classroom, for example. This trial allows you to see if it's suitable for your school. So we are doing that now, and if any of you would like a free trial, then please just get in touch. We can set that up over the next few weeks. And then obviously when we go back to the reason we are doing the trial, obviously is for commercial reasons too. We want you guys to see if it's suitable for you, but then it allows us to, get the foot in the door, let you experience it, and then feedback whether it's something you'll purchase. So one set of Stix Remotes is $179. That comes with the 12 activities on the app, which is free, 2 users per device, access through one product, obviously, if you buy one, but if you buy multiple, you have multiple access. And that also comes with a carry case to help protect them in the school scenario. If you've got loads of kids using them, it's almost essential to have that. Then I shouldn't have actually put this in. This Stix Premium is coming soon. And so that's going to have a load more activities, more users to access the product. And you'll have access through multiple devices. It's not quite ready yet, so that's why I shouldn't have it. But it's something that if you did purchase the Stix Remotes, it'll be easily upgraded to Stix Premium if you were interested in that as well. Yeah, thank you for listening to me. If you've got any questions, then just fire away and I'll see if I can answer.
That's great.
I've just got. Oh, sorry, Mary.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Helen.
Yeah, I was just going to say I've just got one because it's a device that they hold in their hands. Is it like a Wii remote and it's got a wristband or anything like that, in case I know a few children that would struggle to hold it the whole time?
So it's like the Wii remote in the sense that you hold it, but no, it doesn't have a wristband at the moment. That is something we've been asked, and it's something that, if schools found that to be useful, we could try and mold that into the product.
Okay.
But no, at the moment there's no band. But what we find is you don't necessarily need to hold it. It's something that's nice to hold. It's quite a nice feeling in your hand once you have it. It's quite a soft touch silicone material. But if you just put it down in front of you and just breathe along with the lights instead, it's still something to focus on that isn't necessarily free.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Anyone else have a question or comments that they'd like to share? Maureen, you're muted.
Could you just talk us through how, like, where you've done a trial in a school? Could you just maybe talk us through a case study of how that worked, how it went, what they then chose to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, the best example could be if I pass it over to Mary, because CENMAC have been using the product and giving it to schools. But before I do that, I'll give you an example of one of the schools we've been working with. So there's one in Hayes, which was probably the first school to actually use them. And they did the research trial with Brunel, and so they took it on. They were the first people to really help us understand how schools used it. And they've got a mixed scenario. So they've got one set that's in one room and just stays there, so the kids know that they can go to that calm area and use it. But then they've also got several others dotted around the school. So in different classrooms, they have one in each classroom to allow each year group to just understand where their sticks are and where they can go to pick them up. But in terms of how they've used them, so we'll give them for 1 or 2 weeks, depending on your needs. We've typically done 2 weeks, but I've actually found that if you give it to schools for a shorter period of time, it's less likely to just sit on the shelf for a week until they use it. So if we just say you have it for a week and then you can extend it if you want, that's the best way that works for us. But we can be quite flexible with that. And different schools do different things. So like I said, some have them with the Senko, some TAs have them on them at all times, and then others have them in the back of their classroom. So it really depends on the school, the size of the school, how many pupils they have that need them. And typically they identify children that they want to use the product with to see if it works for them. So if we go into a school, then maybe they'll identify that a child of ADHD or a child of autism needs it. Whereas other schools have gone, we just want it as an intervention tool that anyone can go and use if they're feeling anxious.
Yeah, I mean, the student that I introduced it with, he is in year 3. He does have, you know, issues with sort of anxiety and coming into school. He was finding that a bit of a struggle at times. He has child and adolescent mental health support, so he has that 3 times a week. But we just wanted an extra sort of tangible thing that he could add to his daily program to support him with his, you know, his calming and his ability to manage his feelings himself a bit better. And we found with him that he absolutely loves using them. He's been using them for a couple of months now. And I would say he's now at the stage where he's sort of internalizing the strategies a bit, and he's starting to use those strategies without having to have the sticks there present. So he's actually taken, you know, all of the steps to calm himself and to use those mindfulness activities, you know, when he's feeling a bit stressed or a bit anxious about something, which is really lovely to see. And I know I've also sent it into a couple more schools in the local area. I can see Rebecca, you're on the call. I don't know if you have anything to say yet, and it's very, very early days for you.
We have been using it. I've been using one set with a small group of 7 children, and then it is really early days. I've only had it about a week, I think, and they're enjoying it. It's an enjoyable activity. And then with the child that's got the most issues, I suppose, she can do it one-to-one with me or a TA. I mean, they definitely, so at the moment there's no like internalizing it, but it's an enjoyable thing for them to do, and it just can help them to, it gives us kind of the language to talk about things as well. So it is having a good impact at the moment. We'll see how it goes. The thing that I was going to ask is there a way to make them louder?
Not easily from the app right now, as in from the app you have. We've got a demo beta app at the moment which does allow it, so if we get in touch we can maybe help you through that, but it's a bit more of a technical step-by-step thing. You have to do on the phone.
In some ways they're not too quiet. It's just that when I'm using them with a group, they are. And what I do as well is I give one stick to one child and one stick to another child so that they can kind of all hear. But I did think, if I could just make this a little bit louder, it would be a bit easier. And they've started working through the app programs and stuff, so it's quite nice.
That's really good to hear.
That is good to hear, yeah. I'll come in and visit sometime after Easter, Rebecca, and see how they're all getting on with that.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, nice.
Lovely. Okay, any other questions, comments from anyone else? No, I think that's all good. So yeah, it would be interesting to see the additional activities. Are they sort of still categorized within the same areas, Liam?
No, so we've got new categories. So like I said, we've got breathing, body, thoughts and feelings, and heart at the moment. We're now that's a very mindfulness centric process of learning how to do the breathing and then moving all the way to compassion. However, now we've identified that actually people want to focus on the core potential challenges that they're facing. So things like easing anxiety is one new category. Better sleep is another activity character. So I've had a long day today. Category. And so now we've got loads of different things that focus on exactly the pain points that families and schools have said they want to focus on.
All sounds lovely. Thank you very much, Liam. It was good to have you today, and thanks everyone for joining. We will send the recording out to everyone who's requested that as well afterwards. So thanks everyone, have a nice evening. And
do you need any contact details? Should I leave them at the bottom?
Yeah, if you want to just put those into the chat maybe.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Yeah, wonderful.
And Liam, I'll put the recording on our website as well. So as well as emailing it out to people.
Okay, brilliant. Cool. Thanks for everyone's time. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Liam, are you all right for just to stay on the call for another couple of minutes?
Yeah,
after everyone's gone? Yeah, thank you.